Hi, hello. I got like mild bronchitis right now, but we are chill. I spent the whole day pretty much resting and like fucking like drinking water and sleeping. I mean, I guess that falls under resting, but like I wasn't mostly just only resting, And yeah, just not a little under the weather, but nothing crazy. Maybe by tomorrow I'm gonna skip work tomorrow. I already told my boss like, hey, probably not gonna be there tomorrow. Though Saturdays are really small, so it's not like I'm leaving them with much. So it's like not that big of a deal. Like Saturdays are our least hectic days of the week. It's rarely ever like anything. So yeah, so we're just yeah, I'm gonna be making that thumbnail for chapter 4 Delta Rune for my stream, so I'm gonna eventually get to, and hopefully tomorrow or on Sunday I'll be like well enough to just sort of kind of finally play it because I really badly want to. I can't do voices whenever I have bronchitis because it's a fucking lung and throat infection. Not really a lung and throat infection, but it's a lung infection, and it does cause like sore throat and other shit like that, and like phlegm and whatever. So it's like, yeah. The idea for this thumbnail is that I'm gonna first get some like line art, you're gonna have Chris and Susie like sitting like near the center here. Where is the center of the screen? Somewhere around here. Gonna be Chris and Susie like sitting like over here, like at the lake area. Because like Toby Fox said that chapter 4 takes place mostly on the surface area to the point where he had to add a a thing a save point on the surface even though he didn't want to do that. So yeah, the idea is literally just Chris and Susie relaxing at the lake. And I'm gonna do line art for it, right? Or not line art. I'm gonna do like a sketch and like some like very like scratchy line art, and then I'm going to make like a painted vibe. It's not going to be it's not going to be like visible line art at the end in the end. If you know anything about me, I really like the idea of like Chris and Susie as like friends. They're like my favorite characters, like by far in like the franchise, like both of them. My favorite in Undertale's Burger Pants, but like if I'm talking about Chris and Susie, like particular as like them, they are my favorite characters overall. I like how edgy Chris is. I like Susie and how goofy they are. I like how how fucking much like they just like genuinely like just seem to like really like Chris. Like not in a romantic sense, like obviously like there's no like they're pretty much railroading the whole thing with Susie and Chris, though it's possible that there could be like some subversion of expectation. Like dog, if I'm being real, I just want like the fucking like the trans person to have like a cool fucking girlfriend. That's like the main thing I'm kind of like on about, but at the same time, I'm not gonna be a fucking weirdo shipper about it. I'll for the most like I don't actually like I'm more concerned with like just the characters than like them getting together because I have fucking loved the fuck out of this out of their dynamic. And how like I don't know, it's less of a it's not even really a dynamic if you think about it, like Chris and Susie. Like Susie more or less is just sort of kind of learning to be more chill and listening to Chris and whatnot, but like if we were to describe something as a dynamic, it'd be more like Rousey's and Susie's dynamic or Chris and Susie's dynamic. Like they have a dynamic, but Susie and Chris are kind of just like two people who are kind of just chill with each other. Like obviously Chris does really really like Susie, like with like the both like the tea flavor, Susie tea flavor being 120, and on top of that, Chris actively goes in to protect Susie on multiple occasions, and already in just the first two chapters. So and like whenever you like attempt to do anything like with Susie that could be like disrespectful, Chris like does is like kind of like wincing about it because like they don't have any control because you control them, but like what they do have is kind of like just the ability to show their displeasure and stuff. Like they really don't want to let go of that trash ball, right? But you can make them drop it. Maybe I should put them higher up. Hold up, because I want the sun to be in like the because I'm looking for like a certain vibe. I'm gonna move them down a little bit. Like the scene, I feel like the scene, overall scenery is fun. I just want to move Chris and Susie down like a little bit more. Like every single once in a while, whenever I get like really into a fandom, like it was like mostly homesick first, right? I would like imagine scenarios in my brain and like make a little series in my mind about like them off in the future going off and doing stuff, and like the one I have in my brain is just like it's like Chris and Susie like making like a pact and shit, and like being like, hey dog, like we're like you and I are ride and die, we will always be there for each other, like I'm gonna follow you around type shit. If you go somewhere, if you decide let's fucking leave and just like leave everything behind, I'll just come with you. And as long and then like and it's like the pact would be like if I decide to do the exact same thing, like you'll come with me type shit. Just like the decision to like just sort of kind of decide like yeah, this person's pretty chill, not even just in someone that I would like to be around, not even like in explicitly a romantic sense, but just generally, somebody that you probably would want to stick with because like they're good for you, and will always be there to kind of like support you. I need to get this anatomy for Chris right. The Susie looks okay, but I'm trying to make them look like they're like sort of kind of relaxing, and not like bending over weird. I guess they also have to be shorter than Susie. I guess a way to do that is just like boom. But now they look like they're leading, just like how Susie is. Because there, yeah, there we have it. I had to put a slight angle to like sort of kind of like give it, but head's too big. Hold up. But yeah, I really like Kristen Susie as characters. My favorite fucking characters in the whole franchise. Yeah. Mm, I'm having a lot of fun with this drawing already. Okay, so now we have that. Let's just get some like deeper line art. I need to pull up a different reference besides this one because this I need Susie. I need Susie in it as well. I'm just gonna delete that. Opening Oprah real quick. Okay, I found one. Boom. I've been doing my best to avoid spoilers I saw like something funny that I wish I would have experienced myself, but you know, it is what it is. The fact that I decided to stay on the interwebs like as actively as I am kind of was playing with fire. I mean, I don't know anything about chapter 3 and chapter 4. I just saw like a one kind of slightly funny segment that I wish I would have, you know, seen raw and experienced myself, you know. Oh yeah, I want to talk about fucking Chris and like about and fucking about their non-binary shit. A lot of people think that like Chris being non-binary is kind of like a Frisk situation. It's like, oh, easy to sort of like to put yourself onto, you like, oh, non-binary, they can be either. That's like, but that's not how that fucking works, dog. For one, and for two, like it's very clearly like the whole kind of story of Deltarune and Chris and whatever is about freedom and like their and like themselves and what and like and they're trying to make a clear disconnect between you and the player. Like Chris being non-binary is not so you can relate to them easier. It's so like it's supposed to be like they're like, them showing their individuality kind of. And on top of that, like a lot of the stuff that they do in the like not the comic, the game is like there's like a shitload of like trans overlap and like fucking like dysphoria, like, the shit with the horns, wearing them, like being the only monsters, feeling like a social outcast, the stuff with the stuff with the self harm and all that junk. Like there's not just like overlap because like oh they're the only human. Like it's just like it's really cool. I like it. I like Chris as a character. They're fucking edgy as fuck, and I like I very very heavily like relate to them. Like personally, I still pretty heavily like struggle with like who I am, and I still don't really fully know what I'm even about, if I'm being honest. And I don't know if I ever truly fucking will, but like it's just it is what it is, you know. It is what it is. At least since I'm also edgy, I can like look at these characters and be like, oh wow, they're just like me for real. I know that just goes against what I said about like the not being able to relate with Chris. You're not really supposed to fully relate with Chris, like they literally rip you out of their chest, but like kind of hard to make a character you're not supposed to relate with whenever you make them trans, you know, because then like trans people are gonna and have them have like very like very like have like insane overlap with their transness and like in the story and like have like beat for beats for like what almost that all like a lot of fucking trans people go to do, because then guess who that makes that very relatable for? Probably like fucking nearly every single fucking trans person. I'm not saying it's the case for everybody, but like it definitely was the case for me. Definitely 110%. So it's like, yeah, yeah, but fucking, oh, dude, I'm just loving the fact that there's like more like actual like trans people like kind of out and about and like in media. Like like typically I would like be like, man, I wish there's like more like gay people, right? And then like now it's like I'm like constantly like contacting my sister, like showing her like a cool thing that I like, and then I also get to tack on the thing, be like, this character is trans, haha. And I've been able to do that like a lot, and it's making me happy. I also discovered this artist called Isbroki. I mean, I already knew who they were because I'm a huge fan of Femtonel, and Femtonel made a song in collaboration with Isbroki, where I think yeah obviously Femtonel was on the beat and Isbroki was the one actually saying shit in it. Sorry. So like, but then like eventually I decided to just like actually look into like their stuff, and I was like, damn. Actually, like I just started like listening to all their stuff like back to back to back and back, and like they haven't produced a single miss, and that's kind of crazy. That I genuinely like every single one of their music songs. I mean, it's not precisely the type of style that I would like listen to, like it's just that but like the fact that I don't really typically like that type of music and yet I really fucking liked their music. It's kind of like crazy to me because I was just like, man, who the fuck am I? Am I a fraud for liking this? What? But yeah, no, is Brokey makes some like insanely fucking good shit. Oop, fuck. Sorry, I guess I need to look for more things to say. Fucking fuck, dude. Silk Song. There's been a lot of shit happening with that. The Deadpool incident is kind of crazy. On top of that, it's like the Steam page was updated like a trillion fucking times, and making us think that like, hey, they're definitely preparing for launch, right, guys? Right? That's my clown nose, like wiki clown noise nose. But yeah, there's definitely like some shit happening. Like a lot of people are anticipating like a release window on Xbox. The Xbox thing that's supposed to happen in like 2 days. And I'm not gonna get my hopes up. Like obviously, like no way in hell I'm gonna get my hopes up. But like, you know, if it happens, it happens. That would be hype as hell. I know there's a lot of Silk Song fans that are getting their hopes up about it. Dangerous thing to do. But like Silk Song is definitely coming out this year. You know, supposedly. I just hope that it actually like follows through. There was also the John Gibson dude. That's the funniest shit ever. There's some guy named John Gibson. Because you have Ari Gibson, and it's like, whoa, it's John Gibson, the owner of Gibson Industries. Like, they say, like, John Fortnite. Every single time it's like, this is John Fortnite. He owns Fortnite. You know, fucking cool shit. Fucking cool, awesome shit. I was not gonna do this Yap today because I didn't know if I would actually feel good enough to actually like make it because you know bronchitis. But I am having a lot of fun actually drawing now, so I am happy. Okay, now we are going to. I don't know if I want to really do line art actually, because the whole point is supposed to be kind of like a painting, and I wanted to make it very painting-esque. So shit, what the fuck? Oh, wrong layer. So we'll just get to that. I have never really made like a painting before, so this will kind of be like a new experience for me. Like I typically am very heavy on line art. So if I'm being honest, my line art is usually like super fucking messy. So it's like I don't know. I do know like techniques with colors to like make paintings look cool and shit. Like I'm not like a total like dumbass. I went to art class. I went to art class before, right? People have taught me stuff and I've studied and shit. So I'm not gonna be like this isn't gonna be like the worst bullshit you've ever seen in your life or like baby's first painting where like I think I understand like perspective and I think just because like it's on a canvas it's cool, right? Because I have met people who like made like the most absurd dog shit I've ever fucking seen in my entire life, and like I would have not, and I wouldn't hate on them to their face because obviously that's not what you do if you that's not what you do with art, right? You have to like build people up and shit. But like overly confident people who think they made like a fucking masterpiece, and like it's like I could just sit there and like fucking pick it, even though I'm really not that insane at art anyway. So I'd be like kind of a big fucking hypocrite, you know? Massive goddamn hypocrite. That would be me. See, like right now, I'm already kind of struggling a little bit with like the tree because again, I've never done this before. I probably should have started with the shadows, right? Probably should have. Right, and even then, the shadows aren't even on the right way. They're supposed to be kind of like this way, but that's where the sun is. Since the sun's down there, the top of the trees would kind of be like shaded off a bit too, or at least a little bit darker. Yeah, let's start over with the painting. No, it was not fully start over there. It was like let's at least just hide it so I'm not like deleting the first attempt. Man, it's fucking hot as shit in my room, and I got a headache. I got on my way home today because I had to ride my bike home, which made like I felt like shit after work, dude. It was bad. It was real bad. Like I was actually in so much goddamn pain after work. It was crazy. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, dog. It was like not good. I was not in like a proper. I was not in like a proper like state to do literally anything, right? But I had to ride my bike home because I had to get home somehow, right? So I'm riding my bike home. I get some ice cream on my way home, and I'm eating ice cream. I'm having a gay old fucking time. So at least there was that. At least there was that from riding my bike. But dude, I was in so much pain. Like little things were enough to kind of like knock me over. Like I felt kind of embarrassed because my coworkers had to help me out like a lot, and had to help me out a lot. And I was like recently getting a lot stronger. They haven't had to help me pick up shit for a very long time, right? But now I'm just like boxes I didn't even struggle with initially, right, are like suddenly like too heavy for me, and they're just like, dog, what the fuck are you doing? I'm just like, I'm sorry, I'm like sick or something. I thought it was just like whatever, but I think it's like actually like bronchitis. And I'm just like, okay, well, and so like they're like picking up my slack. I'm just like, oh my fucking god, I'm a nuisance, right? But like one of these one time during work today I was bending over to pick up a package, and I put it on the belt, and that their arm just so happened to be there, and it didn't even like knock me hard. It didn't even knock me like even slightly hard, but like I stood like it knocked my head, and I stood up, and it didn't hurt even slightly, but because I was like so fucking weird and weak, uh, I still like actually like almost I like stood up, and like my fucking world turned all twinkly for like a little bit. I'm just like, and I was like, bro, I may pass out, and there's like huh, and I almost really did pass out. And then afterwards, I had to do the janitorial, which is not bad, but like even like little things like stepping down to the bottom of the trailer, like there's like a blip, and you have to kind of step slash jump down. And boy, howdy, was that like really hard to do whenever my entire like body was like aching in pain. I have no idea how to fucking paint. I'm like actually so fucking shit. Like what the hell? I want to go for a painting vibe. What I need to do is fucking do better strokes, longer strokes, more confident strokes. This looks horrible. Wow. Maybe this is baby's first painting, because this does look just genuinely better. I'm overthinking it is what I'm doing. The whole idea is that it was supposed to be kind of scraggly and like kind of like a nice and vibrant and pleasant for our two favorite characters in Deltarune. At least my favorite characters. They're fucking awesome. Boom. Now we have something. Here, you know what? I think I got an idea. I'm just gonna check something real quick with this. Kinda does work. Sort of kinda like underneath it, just like straight the parts where it makes sense. Hold up. You know what I'm also gonna do? I'm gonna bring the opacity up to like 60. Just so I can tell more where the lines are supposed to be. Oh yeah, we know what I was about to say something about like shadows, but I'll worry about that in a little bit. That'll be the last thing I do, I think. And now that we got that and stuff, I think I'm gonna go over these leaves a bit. Here. Nah, I think it's fine actually the way it is. You know, in the end I can just refine it. It's fine. It's not a big deal if it just kind of looks like shit at first, because I am gonna be on this bitch for a bit. I mean, how long have I even been drawing this drawing so far? Like probably only like yeah, only like 26 minutes. And I don't really need to rush it since I'm not going to be playing chapter 4 for a while anyways. But I have to make it through chapter 3 and I haven't even started that shit. And apparently it's longer than 2, so it's like damn. I remember this stupid fucking comic I saw where it's like where it's like or it's like Chris like talking to or no, it was like Susie, it was like Susie talking to Chris, and Susie just sort of kind of randomly goes like, why does you and Noel's dads call each other baby girl? And which then followed by like both of them like being like, okay, no more talking about this, please. You know, I thought it was really funny. What the fuck? Sorry, I saw something on the corner of my view. Freaked me the fuck out. If I turn off the line art, what is this? What does it look like? Cool. The idea is that once the line art is off, it doesn't look like it's supposed to not look like shit. Of course, right now it still looks like shit, but you know. What can we do? What can we do? What can we do and for like now? One thing I do really like about shading is that it's a very cool way to split up like different parts of like the drawing. So now you can tell that this is also like its own log. But yeah, I'm missing out on some essential parts of this drawing, like the curving of this. Okay, one thing I would love about digital art is that you can just sort of kind of like do whatever the fuck. Layers are awesome. Makes me feel fun and giddy. Uh, and now that we have that, we just sort of kind of go in and just like add the leaves. I changed my mind. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, it just doesn't work. Okay. Unless I can sort of kind of do it with this. Oh yeah, that works. That works excellently. Definitely more leaf-like. I definitely missed out on putting some leaves here and there, but whatever. I'm going to be coughing a lot, by the way. Maybe turn off the lighter, and it doesn't look all that bad. Honestly, that's kind of nice looking over here. I'm actually quite happy with how that turned out. Speaking of which, just go ahead and boom, get that going back there. Also get that going like up here. And then boom. Then we're gonna sort of kind of, and then we're gonna sort of kind of erase this, and this, and this, and this. We don't want them like overlapping the logs all that much. It's supposed to be like leaf piles. What the fuck? That actually looks nice. What the hell? On that side it looks nice. Not on the other side. So we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna wrong layer. Just gonna boom. And what happens if we boom? Ah, no, it does not look good actually. Goodbye. We'll add some more sharp shading in a bit, but yeah, that's what we got so far. Go ahead and just sort of kind of like make a more fine line for over here. So that is where the ocean is. And boom, dirt time. The fuck did I just do? What the hell? Bruh, I'm stupid. Bro, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep this bottom layer like on this dirt layer like on the bottom for like a little bit because it's gonna be in the way like massively if I don't. And on top of that, we just go to kind of get like a darker brown and just sort of kind of find the parts and just mint the shade. Do this. Sorry, I'm getting like very quiet here and there. My brain is currently not operating at full capacity. In fact, I'm getting really damn tired. I may just continue this on a different date. I'm super fucking tired. Ugh, dude. Yeah, oh shit. Yeah, my head is starting to pound. I'm done. I'm sorry. Hello. Hello, I'm back. I'm feeling a bit better than I was yesterday. I'm still like a bit sick. I think I'll be probably fine by Monday, and if I'm not, I'll just go to work anyways. I really, really should be good by tomorrow though, or at least almost good. And by Monday, I definitely should be fine. I really badly want to play chapter 3, but I don't want to make my situation worse, so I'm just going to keep on drawing this instead. So by the time I get to play chapter 4, I could just go ahead and just like not worry about having to make art. And sure, and I can go back to making my comic again. I've been making a lot of art for my channel and not for my comic that I want to be working on, but that's fine. I'm not upset about that. I've been having fun drawing all this stuff. But yeah, you'll probably notice that compared to yesterday, that my voice is a bit different, as in like it's a bit more raspy. That's because I've been coughing a lot more, but I do feel a lot better. It's just that I think I'm on like the aftermath section where it's like I'm on the aftermath section now where it's like, oh, now I'm now less sick, but like my body's now like doing the part where it's like, oh yeah, your like vocal cords are like damaged and junk, so now we're going to do the part where it heals and like you kind of feel the damage more, you know. I'm just like, okay, thanks, body, very cool. Maybe I should make Chris and Susie a bit bigger. Where is Chris and Susie on here? Oh, so we're just going to grab them like this. Could do this. Going to do this. We just only want Chris and Susie. No ripples, no nothing. Now we're going to make them a little bit. That's the wrong layer. Boom. Okay, yeah, that works. But yeah, still a bit sick. You can't tell by the coughing, but we are fine. Overall, we are doing pretty okay. Um, shit, what do I want to talk about? I kind of forgot. Forgore. I forgot it. Wrong layer? Which one of these is the right layer? Okay, well, we'll put it down here. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty okay. Like, yeah, I don't really know what to talk about, for being completely honest. I'm just going to like ramble about Homestuck. So, well, I don't even think I can ramble about Homestuck right now. I'll try it though. I'm gonna just like start with like Kanaya, just like saying random shit about her. So Kanaya's like cast, the one she's a part of. Jade Bloods are considered like very very rare, right? And then even more rare are specifically the type of Jade Blood that she is, where they have a mutation that makes them immune to Alternia's sun. Alternia's sun is like our sun, but significantly worse because like its dill is sort of kind of like that is like way closer and way bigger, right? So it kind of like heats up their planet. Like the foliage of Alternia is all white, and that's also why Luci are white, because if they if they aren't, they sort of kind of they just sort of kind of like they don't reflect enough sunlight and they can't really last on Alternia. Like and even then that doesn't just being like the color white is not enough to survive. Like for instance the trolls it's implied in High Swap Friends Sim that I think they have like thicker skin, right? Because there's a scene with one of the brown bloods where they run out to chase some people who kidnapped her Lucis, right? And they run out in the middle of the daytime. You and her do that, and you fight off some trolls. And by the end, you have like insanely bad sunburns. She does not really have insanely bad sunburns, but she is cooked. She does like seem to be like a bit tired from being outside bears, not clothes on, but like her face and arms and shit being against the Alternia's elements. But you, the player, are significantly worse off, which obviously implies that trolls, as in, yeah, they will die if they're outside in the sun because it's just too hot for them. They living on the planet so long, they still have like a natural resistance where they can't just be out there for a bit and generally be okay. And I think that's really cool. Also gives me my favorite end title screen where you and her are like chilling out in Super Slime, which also confirms that Super Slime has like healing properties, at least similar to that of aloe vera, which I think is kind of neat, especially since like according that sort of kind of means that Alternia does semi go out of its way to give trolls some form of like means of taking care of themselves beyond just like random fucking bullshit. I know that like certain blue bloods the ones that are above like cerulean, and the ones that were like wait, I don't know, the ones that were like above Riska's class at Eridan's cast, like for cobalt bloods. I know one of them has like this little thing in their house where if you like stick like a body part in, it will like painfully fix it for you, and it'll hurt, but it will get rid of your injuries like fully and completely. And that's how because like you start off Pester Quest with broken arms and a couple broken ribs. But you're at the very least your arms end up getting broken whenever you meet that cobalt, the one that like paints of troll blood. Honestly, the fact that trolls like use other trolls for stuff like that like constantly is kind of insane. I know it's supposed to be like it's a brutal planet, right? So duh. Like obviously they're like kind of insane and crazy, and they kind of like they use like they like eat babies. Like grub sauce is literally like because troll babies are called grubs. Grub sauce is literally just fucking. It's not even kidding you. That's just baby blood they're drinking, and they're calling it grub sauce, which is insane. But yeah, back to Jade Bloods. I think it's like, oh yeah, I want to talk more about Eternia's Sun as well, but I'll get back to that in a moment. Like Jade Bloods, the ones that live in the sun, I think those are the ones that like can turn into rainbow drinkers. Because obviously, if every single Jade Blood turned into a rainbow drinker after death, then it wouldn't be a myth. Because I think what how it kind of is like the way I think it kind of is that they like store up like the sun's energy within their body, and whenever they die they kind of like release it, and like they become like immune. They can heal from like insane damage because like their body just has the energy to do that, and it to the point where like they even like glow and emit like a light, which is my theory. That's my headcanon at least, that they're not particularly like actually like against the sun. It's just their body is just like storing it somewhere within them. I like the thematicness of like Kanaya being a rainbow drinker, like because like every single time, like she's very into light bounds, right? She's like she has a crush on Vriska. The one she ends up being the troll patron of is Rose, and those are both light bound. She becomes like obsessed with both of them, and then at the very end, she sort of kind of like starts just glowing like them. She, oh yeah, that reminds me. So there's like when it comes to aspects for Homestuck. Hold up, I'm googling something real quick to make sure this is true, because I know the a maid is the pass as is the okay because there's the Karate class, which is the maid and something else, which I think the other one is the sylph. Um, give me one moment. Homestuck aspects. No, 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 no. Homestuck class. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I was right. I was right. The maid and the sylph are the make class or the create class, meaning like for instance, we have Jane, who is the maid of life, and she is the and which is an active class and where she actively curates where she uses where the active classes like are basically are basically ones that do stuff with them like they can instead of like okay, sorry, let me explain this better. Like active classes, there's a like let's for instance, let's go ahead and just compare the prince and the bard because those are the easiest ones, right? The prince and the prince and the bard are the destroyer classes. A bard is one who is destroyed by their no, 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 sorry. The bard is the one whose aspect uses them to destroy things, while the prince destroys their aspect. Like, and for instance, a thief is one who steals their aspect, while a rogue is one who uses their aspect to steal. Like, an active class is more directly involved with their aspect, while the other one is like tangentially just like controlled or it like uses it as like a tool rather than being more like one with it. Which kind of brings me to like the witch in the air, because they're kind of like because the witch is the active class and the air is the passive. Like, okay, I'm explaining this wrong. I'm sorry. Like, okay, so passive class is just one that's like actually just more like, uh, it's like, so I'm explaining this kind of wrong, which, so just like, take what I'm saying as like not fully accurate, because I know it's not accurate and I'm trying to explain it properly. I'm just like having a hard time because like my brain is all stupid right now. Like I promise you, it's a bit different. But what was I talking about? Shit, whatever. No matter. I don't care. But shit, what was I saying? Forgot. I'm gonna make a group for this. But yeah, you got the active and passive classes. Like it's okay. I guess okay. I'm looking at the chart, and I guess it's sort of kind of a better way to explain it. As they explain, is like um, like basically a passive allows or invites their aspect, while an active ones like control or exploit them or exploit using their aspect. Like I said, like the bard like allows like the bard uses their body to like destroy with their aspect, while Prince actively instead destroys the aspect. For instance, you got the Bard of Heart, you got the Bard of Rage, Gamzee, and he uses his aspect of rage to destroy things. For instance, he just randomly appears in like in parts of the comic, and the community kind of gets pretty fucking pissed off because Gamzee just seems like a random character that does random shit and right, and but they don't realize that like that's just his aspect. He shows up at these random places like out of nowhere intentionally to piss you off. And in doing so, he constantly like things around him are kind of being destroyed. He creates Caliborn, who is the antagonist, who is the god of basically destruction, right? He is the Lord of Time. The Lord is a master class or a two master class, which are those of like they control their aspect. Like for instance, the Lord is one who controls their aspect, and Amuse is controlled by their aspect. Like for instance, let's say you were a let's say you were like a bard of like fucking I don't know. Okay, not a bard. Let's say okay, well we'll just use the two examples that are actually in the comic. So a bard of time, like Caliborn, just sort of kind of just does shit with time. He doesn't have any plan. He just wills what he wants into existence. He's like, I want to go here, and a sheer rage, it will happen for him, right? But then Calliope, she's forced into a vortex to just sort of kind of sit there for like ever, right? She doesn't really get to do anything. She's just forced within like some space she sat within time, and it's just waiting and just waiting, right? It's not really stated like which is more powerful, maids or lords. They're probably equally powerful, but like not maids, fucking sorry, muses, but like where lords are constantly going around doing whatever the fuck they want. A muse waits, and they let out like an amount of power that is like unbelievable in nature, right? And like their thing is sort of kind of like nothing can stop them whenever it eventually whatever the hell that they're supposed to do eventually happens. Not even a lord, like a lord is constantly going around like doing like powerful shit, but then it like just like sort of kind of doing whatever the fuck they want with their aspect, sort of. While you have like heirs who are very powerful as well, but I'll get into heirs in a moment. Like they just can, right? That's like their whole deal. While other people have to like learn their aspect and you blah 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 blah. Lords just can't do it. They can just do it, and their aspect will just sit back and let them do it. And that's sort of kind of their deal. While Muse will sit down and wait and build up their strength, and then suddenly out of nowhere, release like an amount of power from years and years of like building it up, and then boom, everything is now just gone. And that's what happens in Homestuck with the Lord and Muse's space. Whenever Calliope does what she's supposed to do, the entirety combined with Lord English's like rampage and like shattering, she delivers the final blow that Lord English was incapable of like actually able to do. Like he tries to like break apart the multiverse, but he's only able to really crack it, right? But then Calliope comes in and like actually like starts like destroying the medium and really destroying everything. She's the one who actually like ends up destroying reality. Because unlike the idiot that was Celeborn, she kind of was just building up to it and she knew what she was doing. But yeah. Now I want to talk about heirs. Heirs are my fucking favorite. They're so goddamn cool because they're like, and because John Egbert is an heir of breath, right? He ends up doing a lot of things that the fandom considers confusing. Is like, what does this have to do with breath? What does this have to do with being an heir? Like people don't like people think that heirs are an active class just because John Egbert kind of like behaves like an active player, but that's just because the witch and the heir, those who are the change class, the ones that change their aspect, they are very very close on the active passive scale. Where like at like most times in the thing and like in their roles, like they're constantly like flip flopping between passive and active rules. Like for instance, John plays almost his entire session just sort of kind of doing his own thing, while Jade is relegated to creating the universe. But then like you see the more active stuff that they end up doing, like by the end of their session, Jade is like throwing people around. She is like teleporting things. She's making things like massive, and while John at the very end is relegated to a simple task, or a very not a simple task but a task of just like basically following everyone's orders and getting shit done, you know. At the end they end up falling into their active and passive roles like they were supposed to, right? And that's what ends up being like the thing that like allows them to actually get out without dying, right? And I don't know, I find that cool. I just find that really cool. I'm gonna put these guys like up on here. Yeah, I just find that cool. One role that people don't know is an active passive role is I mean is a passive role. It's a knight. Like people think that the knight is an active one, but it's not. It is a passive role because like Dave acts active, and that's the reason why people think that. But the only reason why he acts active is because of the influence on his brother, who is an active class, and like he constantly is trying to prove himself by being cool and badass and like nonchalant, and so he's always going around doing stuff. But you realize the entire time, Dave was like full blown like just listening to everybody and doing whatever people wanted him to do, and like sort of kind of like even listening to himself and all that stuff. Like he was very much like not ever like truly in control of what was actually happening, right? He was more or less a pawn to everyone else's whim, which is kind of cool in my opinion. Not really cool, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say. You get me, you get me. Sorry. I don't like this like drawing I made of like the fucking thing. Hold up. Give me a moment. That is the dirt. Okay. I think that looks like horrible. Let's just go ahead and like do stuff like this. I don't want to like fully just make it go away, but I do want to like make it significantly less obvious. Now, on top of all this, you will have another layer. And this will be the shading layer, and we're going to group this. I'm going to start with Susie and Chris. Sorry, I'm like losing myself again. I forgot what I was talking about. I imagine this looking like way better when I was making it. Hold on, let me turn off the line art. I don't think I need the line art anymore. If I can find it. Yeah. With this now being kind of made-ish, hold up, let me turn off the lighting, the shading layer. Just get this, that. Let's go ahead and do. I forgot to do the sky, whatever, we can do the sky in a bit. It doesn't need to be done just yet. But yeah, let's keep on going, let's keep on going. Is that the right layer? Doesn't matter right now, actually. I think I'm gonna use a different tool for shading. I'm gonna use this tool. It sucks. Okay, never mind. I changed my mind. Let's just go ahead and turn this all black and just sort of kind of. But yeah, airs. Airs are one who like it's air is the change class, right? Airs are the ones who I mean change in both the witch and the mage and the like witches are one who changes their class and aspect. They use it to change stuff. Like for instance, Jade is a witch of is a witch of space. And so she's constantly changing things through space, like making them bigger and smaller and other junk like that, you know? And while John is a heir and he constantly is like yes he does have the ability, he does use his aspect constantly, manipulates it, right, but he does physically turn into breath and wind, and then becoming more and more incorporeal with his reality until eventually he finds an artifact, reaches his hand to it, and then can just fully detach himself from reality and just change things that aren't meant to be changed. Like people don't really fully understand what happens to John, and that breath does not just represent wind. That's just how it like decides to like manifest, sort of, kind of like. But the thing is, though, breath bounds aren't one of just like breathing. It's about freedom. While the blood bounds are like the opposite, where they're bound by blood and reality. Breath bounds are bound by the complete opposite. They're bound by nothing, basically. So John gains the ability to sort of kind of just like randomly retcon shit because he sits somewhere outside of his reality now. And it makes sense for his aspect. And I thought that was really cool when it happened. Maybe I should just go with like a white color or like a red. Yeah, red would probably more like orangey then. Orangey, but like kind of a pale orange. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's better. Kind of want to like go like a bit of glisten, like. Sorry, I'm getting into this drawing again, obviously because it's cool and I like it. But you know, we're just going to boom. We're just gonna use the smudge tool now. Sorry, that was gross. But yeah, I don't know. I and airs are really fucking cool. They're like they're like naturally kind of powerful in that sense. Where like they become one of their aspect. Their aspect actively like protects them too. Because like the yeah sure the classics get kind of try to get kind of literal and like their meaning where like oh the air they turn into their stuff yada 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 yada, but then like if you look more into like the rule like that of like that into like the bard and the maid and the thief and the witch and the like sylphs are one who sylphs are one who are sort of kind of built up and created by their aspect, right? And they end up like sort of kind of like yeah being built up by their aspect and stuff like that, like for instance Kanaya like slowly became more was became more light because that which she lived in the place where she dwelled like slowly like filled her with sunlight, right, which can be interpreted as like space, you know, sort of kind of like giving her sort of kind of building her in a sense. Hold on, I'm looking for something real quick. There we have it. Oh yeah. Sorry. Now underneath this, we want to get like that. Now we're going up. Just darken that. Just darken all this. And we find the foliage for the leaves. Go like this. Just gonna slowly shade over all this crap. Now where's the leaves layer? There it is. Underneath that. We're just going to sort of kind of get this red. We're then going to make it more bold. And then we're going to make it more. Then we're just going to make it more dark. And then boom. Really add that in. let's get some yellow for this layer. Yep. I'm just gonna lighten it up over here. I think that just makes sense. And then underneath all that, we're going to paint a sky. Start with like a base of just a blue. And then we're going to take this blue, and we're actually going to make it more orange. Not fully orange, mind you, just oranger. On the top, it needs to be kind of darker, I think. And now we can start making this all like red and shit. And now that we have that, where's the water layer? Oh, right here. We found it like instantly. What the fuck is going on? Wait, hold up. Oh, there's a second water layer. Boo, stupid me. All the way up here, I'm guessing. Yep, that would be the case. Let's turn off the first water layer so we can find it. Okay, so it's not that one. It's not that one. Oh, in fact, it's not even in there. Okay, that's good. That makes my job a lot easier for whenever I want to erase it. Where is it though? Okay, so it's on this layer. Okay. We'll just erase it like this then. Now we just have to find that water layer again. Oh, yeah, that's right. Fuck. Why can't I? Oh, I'm stupid. Sorry. Fuck, I forgot what I was even saying earlier. I was talking about Homestuck, but I don't really feel like talking about Homestuck anymore, if I'm being completely honest. So I'm just gonna stop. I don't know what I want to yap about though. I'm very excited to play Deltarune still. I want to play it so bad. I gotta wait for my everything to stop being so gross and sickly. Okay, I think that honestly this may be kind of done-ish. Like, I don't think it's so bad. I do want to do one last thing though. Underneath this layer, this group, I kind of just want to go over it all with like kind of like the yellowy glow of the sun. Perhaps I can even go like this. Okay, that's a little bit too far, but here. I have an idea. Honestly, this was not all that hard to make. It was not the best thing I've ever made, obviously. Like, it's kind of low-key kind of shit, but it's like at the same time. What am I going to do about it? Oh shit. You know what? I just realized something that I could do though. Where's that water layer? There's that water layer. Boom. That looks a little bit better. Now we're gonna go over white one once more. The yellow. Yeah. I'll back up here. I think I honestly was kind of on this. I was low-key kind of onto something whenever I decided to just do this. Obviously, we don't want that shining there or here. Get the yellow. You go over it kind of again. Not too crazy, obviously. Let's go ahead and make this at 50%. And then underneath all this, what we will do is we'll just like do this and just fill in the gaps. And boom. This is more or less finished. We'll then take this layer up here and we'll turn it to a luminosity layer. Or I'll multiply. No, let's turn this into a lighten layer. Yeah. And what happens if I turn it back to normal? Okay, yeah, I know. It does genuinely look better whenever it's the whenever it's a lightened layer. And when it's on luminosity, and whenever it's on luminosity, it just sort of kind of turns all, we call it bad. It doesn't look that great. Now, I'm going to attempt something. This is probably going to be really fucking dumb, but we'll do it anyways. And if it sucks, then I'll go back. You know what? Actually, fuck. Before we do all that, let's copy this layer and put it up here. Then turn off that one. And then we'll go back to doing this. What the fuck is going on? Hello? Oh, that's what's going on. It's like, why is nothing changing? I say dumbassly, like, because I'm a dumbass. And underneath this, we could just do that, and we can turn on the opacity. And boom. Now we kind of have something here. And it does legitimately kind of look better whenever you just sort of kind of combine these layers. At least I like it. I just want to do one more thing. I just kind of just go over it and like darken the layers a bit. Oh, fuck. Why does it do that? Multiply. I just gotta go with like a dark orange. AKA, this seems to just be like a brown. Let's just go with red instead. And let's use this tool. Just putting on like some final touches and stuff to this drawing. Boom. There we have it. That's a drawing and stuff, like for real. Now let's just get the Deltarune chapter 4 thing, and then I think this bitch is done. I can use this as like a thumbnail without feeling like I did an ass job, which is sorry. This is like the first time I really actually made like a painting like this before, so it's like it's not the worst I could have possibly done. Fucking move, you dumb shit. I'm looking for something real quick, sorry. There it is, found it. Okay, boop, beep, pop, 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 slop, and delete. Oh, I'm stupid. Sorry. Sorry. Man, I'm coughing a lot right now. And we're gonna go with mesh, I guess. Wrong mesh. Mesh, there we have it. And we're just going to grab this bitch. And we're just gonna kind of stretch it around it. Actually, we need to make it bigger first. I don't want to mesh it. Come on, stop. Now it's bigger. Now we can mesh it like this. Bro. Yes, I want it to look like that first. And now we can go over it and we can do this. And now we can mesh it. Ugh, stupid. Or maybe we cage it instead? Like what? Okay, I don't know. I guess I'm just dumb or something. Let's just keep it like this. Am I stupid? I think I am stupid. You know what? It's fine. I have an idea. What I'm going to do is underneath this, we're going to put a square. The square is going to look like that. And in that square, which I need to put underneath that, which I already did, I'm stupid, we're going to make it all dark. Like this. Whatever, man. I changed my mind. Let's just... I just want it to be visible. It doesn't even matter anymore. I want the sun to be visible. Here, you know, I have an idea. Now, okay, where's the mesh tool? Brush preset, I'm on that. How do I mess with the tools? I kind of forgot. Isn't there like something for tool settings? There they are, tool options. Threshold. So we just sort of kind of set the threshold to this. Larger. And we just sort of kind of go like this. But we don't want it to be that. Boom. Okay, and let's get back to it. And then we take that, and on this layer, we just grab our pen right here. And then we get that. And we go underneath it. And we just keep on doing that over and over again. Until I'm satisfied with the size. Turn that on, and then boom, we did it. We're smart. We're fucking smart as shit. Oops. Is this what I'm looking for? Fuck. Yes, this is what I'm looking for. Boom, now we can just save that. And we're going to turn these off, and we're going to save this as 1 and 2. 4.1.png. No, fuck you. And then we're going to save as 4.2.png. This is... Oh wait, shit, we have to like actually... You know what, it's fine. Well, it's fine. You just do this. And then we save it again. And then boom, we're fine, we're good. Okay, that's cool. We did it. Awesome, bye.